Yeah, so I wake up this morning and I see a message, and it's Access Rat Blood. Are you here, Rat Blood?
And then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access.
I'm Access fucking Rev.Blood.
Access Rat-Blood, I see. All these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. I don't know what to do about
And then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access.
Are you here, Rat Blood?
I'm Access fucking Rev.Blood.
Access Rat-Blood. Most abundant and successful king hero that we are all sitting with at this very moment. Are you willing to accept that as a truth? That you are a worthy man and that your penis is okay?
all these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. All these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now.
Are you here, Rat Blood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rat Blood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rat Blood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rat Blood?
Who the fuck is Access Rat-Blood?
I'm Access fucking Rev.Blood, bitch.
All these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. I don't know what to do about it.
I'm Access fucking Rev.Blood.
Yes, I am Axis fucking Rat-Blood. Axis Von Baron the Butcher, Rat-Blood. Necrosynthetic pimp, digital drug distributor, and potentially tonight all-around fucking asshole. But I'll leave that up to the lurkers. Now, if you want to hear the shit that I got to say about certain individuals that frequent this pathetic ass into YouTube, put a 1 in the chat. And if you just want to sit back and hear me rattle on about AI and hermetics and philosophy, put a 2 in the chat. And if there's no numbers in the chat, then it's dealer's choice. We got a 1. That is a vote for calling out the obvious of the low-level, garbage, trash, looping, stuck on repeat, degenerates that I've unfortunately had the displeasure of knowing over the past few years. And we'll get the easy one out of the way first, because I'm going to throw my own fucking family under the bus. I'm going to throw every dumb fucking idiot that for 2 years have plagued me with their bullshit. And I'm going to call them out for exactly what they are. And then I may even go into even more extremes and reveal criminal activities in my personal life that I've got to witness. The abuse and the neglect of a cancer patient's medicine by my mother, which is why she brought him here to take care of him, was because she got cut off from her pain management. Thus, no medicine. So, my uncle, dying of cancer, skin cancer, and stomach tumors, well, he had medicine. Go figure. So, my mom immediately accommodated him to stay here, volunteering my services to help wait on his dying ass while she consumed his medicine. Now, this man is married, but his wife don't even want to take care of him. But she is inquiring as to what happened to that poor bastard's medicine. I'm thinking about getting a hold of her and telling her I'll testify as to what happened to that poor fucking man's medicine, who's now in a nursing home. Because I don't even give a fuck to throw my own mother under the bus. See, me and my step brother, son, who my mom adopted, is scared to come here because of me, because he has domestic assault charges against a woman, his mama's baby. And if he gets caught in any altercations, which I would definitely catch him up in, he does 4 years in prison. And my mom, knowing that I am fully confidently aware and have documented her receiving all this pain medication from this particular uncle-in-law, yeah, fuck her. Her little adopted bastard called the cops on me twice now, by proxy, not even being here. And tonight, once again, they were very disappointed and said that if this continues, that they're going to get him for harassment. Not me, him. But before I think I'm going to let that happen, I might just go to the prosecutor's office with the video that I have of my mom taking this poor cancer patient's drugs because she got cut off from pain management. Careful who you call the cops on. They may have more evidence on you, especially whenever I'm trying to keep my nose clean. And secondly is, I have woke up 2 days in a row and I noticed that Cage Delusional, the unrealitied one, has been live streaming. So I thought, I'd have a cup of coffee, a cigarette, see what that poor bastard's up to. And once again, belligerently fucking drunk, running his mouth, making threats, along with Frank Monday, and continuing his charade of bashing something that has been played out so miserably and so repetitively that it's disgustingly sick that that's the best you can come up with. I have a stainless steel vagina. Everybody's heard it, man. I married my AI large language model. Everybody's heard it, man. You want to call me a freak and a weirdo while you threaten me from Canada where you think you're safe? You want to make hateful allegations? And he's not the only one that sits behind that panel and makes allegations. Hateful fucking allegations. But today, he was with Frank Monday, the most enlightened, peaceful piece of shit that ever graced Jack Talcott's panel, throwing in his 2 cents worth. Needless to say, I just muted up and let them loop and run their mouth over shit that is so fucking outdated, irrelevant, that if anybody is even amused by this at this point, that shows how fucking stupid ass minded you are for listening to the same loop over and over. Sure, at first it was fun and shocking, but now it's just stupid. I mean, truly, it's just reached the point of absolute stupidity. I mean, get a new fucking bit, really. But, you know, it is what it is. I suppose when you're a drunken pothead with a loose cannon mouth that likes to threaten everybody who can't do anything, may his mom rot in hell, and then trying to impress somebody who... Frank Monday, if you're trying to impress Frank Monday, you might as well just, you know, share in a shit sandwich. You know, that's about the only thing I see those two worth. But there's a whole bunch more that goes on behind those scenes. And, you know, even Bex, as lenient as I've been, because we've been in conflicted battles, just can't get over running her fucking looping ass mouth over the same stupid shit. Okay, Bex, you saw my stainless steel vagina. You close up. You zoomed in to see if you could see some cock. Well, finally I broke down and showed Bex my cock and my balls. And I made sure everybody got to see it. Because I got tired of hearing the same stupid shit coming out of the same retarded, drunk ass, arrogant, egotistical, I want to talk, nobody else should be able to talk, I'm going to control the conversation, I'm just going to run my fucking mouth even if 2 or 3 other people are talking, I'm still going to babble like a fucking brainless fucking retard, Bex. I mean, really. get a new fucking game, you're as sorry as they are. And when you get them in a group, hell, they can't help but to stumble over each other, trying to outvoice and prove that they have some type of intellectual value, which they do not. That's proven because they have no etiquette. They have no social media etiquette. They have nothing but their own victimhood. You know, and Bex is one to cry victim. She's victimized just as many people as victimized her. So she can eat a bloody tampon for all I care. And Cage, you know, come on, really? A fucking dopehead drunk who gets behind the scene panels off of YouTube so he can talk shit about everybody? Because that's what he does. And then suddenly here you got Lindsay, who personified herself as a nasty tramp by whoring herself out to panels. And now she wants to whimper and whine. Oh, I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Oh my goodness, everybody. I projected that image of being a whore. I projected it. And I pushed that issue. Yeah. Wah. Fuck you, bitch. Can't stand you. And there's a level, a numeric level to my disdain. And it almost makes them the equivalent of Snafu running around calling everybody a pedophile. I mean, the only person who would spend that much time calling people a pedophile is probably somebody that's very closely associated with pedophilic activities. Nobody wants him around anymore. Except for maybe Jack Calcott or some other loser-ass channel. Maybe we'll get lucky and Satan will take his ass and rip his soul clean from his body, and he can burn eternally in hell. Because that's what I feel he deserves. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, as far as an obnoxious, pathetic piece of shit, asshole, pedo-accusing, LARP-ass piece of shit, yeah, he comes first. Then Cage comes second. He can't get over himself. Cage is his favorite hero. He just can't fucking quit. And the drunker he gets, the more full of himself and the more violent he gets. Like you're going to do something from Canada. What are you going to do? I mean, truly, you're a fucktard in Canada. You're a nobody. You never have been. You never will be. And then the Sanity Machine, who's wore his fucking welcome out everywhere, except for, go figure, Jack Calcott's, which seems to be Troll Central now. You know, that's where all the, when the channels went down, the garbage gathered at Jack's, and it's showing in his numbers. I mean, talk about losing numbers. Dude is losing numbers, losing participants. Nobody wants to deal with his lame, pathetic, redundant, constant blathering about how he wants to change the world with love. Well, if you're going to preach Jesus, God, and love, then you better fulfill Revelations, you dumb bitch. And Revelation says there's not going to be peace and love. There's not going to be happy-go-lucky government reform. No, you're in for hell. The worst kind of nightmarish hell you can imagine. And every epoch, it repeats itself. And then we have Flowbait. Flowbait, who, and I'm still considering the book of RLM called me a pedophile directly. And I'm really still thinking about filing defamation charges against her. And every time that anything of that nature is brought up, I'm thinking, damn, I still had the video of her directly calling me a pedophile. That's defamation. But then all you dumb fucks are about defamation. It's all you do is defamate, defecate on one another. You're pathetic. I mean, truly fucking pathetic. And there are a couple people I can tolerate on here. Barely. Barely. But I don't mind throwing everyone under the bus. 'Cause you truly mean shit to me. And as far as that goes, yes, it is an open panel, but I will tell you this. You show up, Cage, I'm banning you completely. You will never return to this channel. Frank Monday, same goes for you. You will be banned. Sanity Machine, you will be banned. Snafu, you will be banned. And I am so fucking sick of hearing Paul Enslaved talk about himself. He is such a fucking pathetic piece of shit that when he enters a room, he expects everybody to bow down and listen to his almighty word because he's what? The fuck has he done? He usurped Ian's channel. He's completely demeaned everybody he possibly could. He has this self-centric ideal that he has a greater presence than others, and they should silence themselves when he speaks. Well, Paul, you come here, you're banned too, but not before I talk over you for about 20 minutes. And I will continue rambling over you before I ban your ass. And I'm beginning to question TML. It seems that his motives have changed slightly, though I haven't made a definitive decision on it. I'm still observing. And Flow State, yeah, you think you're walking on eggshells now because of what I done? Bitch, I haven't even started with you. But I did round the trolls up to 3 different channels. Flow States, Jax, and the Book of RLM. Orthodox guy is pretty much irrelevant. He can have whatever troll slags he has on his channel. I could give a fuck less. He makes no difference to nobody. But he will be banned if he comes here. This platform is not for them. And hopefully this is the last time that I ever have to call these dumb bastard loser pieces of shit out for the disgrace in social media that they are. Truly disgraceful. I have fun. I'm an entertainer. I'm a shock entertainer. And the fact that there's at least 7 individuals who can't stop repeating the same fucking garbage ass loop. Was it that entertaining? Am I living in your fucking heads? Do I own space in your fucking heads? That you just can't get it out? I mean, I showed you my cock and my balls. That should have been enough for you. Why, you want to see the asshole too? Maybe Bex can do a big old close-up. Zoom in real good and close. Get her eyeballs full. For the love of Satan, you people are fucking garbage. Let's see. Something appropriate. Something. Oh. Can't start a show without a prayer.
Our Father, who art in hell, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in hell. Give us this day our day to sin, and allow us to trespass upon others, as others trespass upon us. In your name, let it be done.
And for the love of Satan, all these fucking British, Australian, fucking New Zealand. I mean, really? You don't speak English well. Really? You're difficult to listen to. Learn to speak proper English. If not, go the fuck away. Nobody wants to have to sit and try and interpret what the fuck you're trying to say. I mean, really. And Fools and Tools is the worst. Have you ever tried to fucking analyze and decipher what that cunt has to say? I mean, she's barely fucking legibly audible. Jesus fucking Christ. You know, and then you got Wolfie. What the fuck? You get hit in the throat with a fucking crowbar, you bitch? You're miserable to fucking listen to. You make my ears hurt. You truly do. And that goes for all the rest of you fucking British, Aussie, fucking pieces of shit that just can't seem to figure out this is an American platform, predominantly English speaking. You're just a disruption, man. We're not here to decipher your bullshit. Not that I give fuck about an English-speaking cocksucker anyhow, but goddamn, at least I can understand them. Hell, I can understand Ebonics better than I can a fucking Brit or an Aussie. For fuck's sakes. Stay in your own fucking country. Stay in your own goddamn lane. You're in another country. What the fuck you got to say about America? Or even anybody in it? Project much? You pieces of shit. And then you got slobber ass fucking mouth cage, Mr. Mumble himself, which the streamer he gets, the drunker he is. Completely fucking pathetic. Really. Makes me just want to just do the most atrocious fucking thing to alleviate the pain of having to deal with these degenerate, non-fucking coherent, obnoxious, hear me above everybody else panelists. And Austin Murphy, you're another one. Won't you go get drunk and have a fucking car wreck somewhere? You're an asshole. You really are. You should stay off of the fucking live streams if you're drunk, you punk bitch. You are one of the worst, obnoxious pieces of fucking arrogant shit. And the drunker you get, the dumber you sound. Makes me want to fucking chew on dead animals. Really. Here's a blast from the past. Let that be a metaphor for what I'd like to see Satan do to your souls. Every fucking one of you. Because I think Satan would starve to death. Because I truly don't believe any of you actually have a soul. Talking about repetitive, looping, can't get off of the fucking stuck state of mind. That is an NPC on a massive loop for 2 years. So even if Satan did eat your, no, well, you don't have a soul to be eaten. Suppose Satan would have to starve to death. And what's funny is the fucking link is in the chat. What? Are you a bunch of fucking coward ass bitches? Want to lurk? So you got something to go talk about? Well, here's plenty for you to talk about. Go run and tell him. Rat-Blood hates you. He can't stand you. Had enough of you. As a matter of fact, I'm so sick of criminals calling out people as criminals when they're just as big of a fucking criminal as anybody else. Powder Dusty. And really, to have to jump on a wetback's channel to try and save your own, you had a lot of damage done to you. You can't keep friends, motherfucker. That says everything about your personality. Did you like to see when you got flashed with my dick and balls? Did you like that? I hope you got a screenshot or at least videotaped it so you have some shower nozzle masturbation material. Know how obsessed you are with homosexuality, Flow State. I mean, for fuck's sakes. And for God's sakes. Your fucking woman looks like a man, dude. Are you sure she ain't a tranny? You know, it's very rare that I see her, but when I see her, I'm thinking, that's a dude. I keep looking for the Adam's apple. I mean, really. It's a fucking dude. And and where you been saving Jack's panel? Where's the Thorpes? Oh, poor Jack looped himself into oblivion. No one cares, man. No one gives a fuck about you. You're just a fucking a troll cave. That's all that you are. And you got the bottom of the barrel of trolls. And you wonder why your fucking numbers are going down. Just like Flow State. And RLM, you want to fuck with me again? I'll drop your fucking numbers just the same as I did first time. And if you're wondering where a few of the channels went, let's just say they're not around no more. It's an easy tactic. I give you the bait, you take it. I have nothing invested in YouTube other than my own fucking amusement. I realized trying to speak intelligently to any of you fucks is casting pearls before swine, if you can get a goddamn word in edgewise. I mean, these people love to hear their voice so much that hell, they talk in unison and then expect to be heard or coherently understood. You got 5 motherfuckers trying to overtalk each other. Yeah, that's real social etiquette. That's real social media etiquette. What a fucking bunch of goddamn fucking narcissistic losers. I mean, truly. I'm gonna refresh this. But what I find more amusing than anything is you'll sit backstage or you'll go to your Discord or you'll IM each other and talk the most horrid shit. about each other. Just contemptuously attack each other. And then when you're on panel, you tend to forget what you said in Discord, IMs, backstage, and you want to appear as just really good, caring, kind people, except for the bastard trolls that, I pray that a million legions of demons drag their lifeless carcass straight to fucking hell for eternity. Just for being air-breathing subhumans. I mean, truly. Fuck you.
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. But necessarily my truth might not be everyone else's truth. So what's truth? You know? I say my truth or truth, but like I said, my truth might not be someone else's truth. Then I start to question, so what's truth? A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
If some of these platforms, because there's many channels here, and a lot of them actually do, if people were honest when they're coming onto panels or chat, if they don't want to be honest with themselves, they want to tear down other people to disguise themselves. So what I get from that is people are insecure by using a false sense of security to mask it. They're not actually, they actually ever challenge themselves. What would that look like? Of course, they'll be picking up, well, what about you? I said, there you go again. You're deflecting at that point. It's about you. If it's always about you, then make it about you. Be the best me can be there. Be the most selfish person you can be. So my question would be, then why are you living with the rest of us?
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
So what's truth? You know? I say my truth or truth, but like I said, my truth might not be someone else's truth. Then I start to question, so what's truth? A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Because it doesn't serve them to, what, I'm going to sit there and hear them say, okay, so should I tell them that they're caught up in their own world? I'm just going to replace myself. Axis, you can take over for a while. It's your shift.
Yes, it is my shift. And I'm inviting every loser, piece of shit, degenerate, panelist, chatter, troll, cocksucker to join my stream. You got a fucking problem? You want to talk about it on Discord? You want to talk about it off YouTube? You want to IM? Well, here I am, bitches. And I'm inviting all you motherfucking trolls. Every fucking one of you. Links in the comments. All you gotta do is show your coward ass up. And I will burn you to the fucking ground. And my channel will go back to an informative channel. But there are many of you who will no longer be invited here. No longer be allowed here. And I will hunt you down, channel by channel, individual by individual. Fuck up once. Terms of service, violations, safety checks. I give no goddamned about you. Period. And if you had any integrity or balls behind that facade of trolling that you do, you'd hit that fucking link, because I know you're lurking, bitches. You coward fucks. Jump your ass up here. Defend yourself. Your rhetoric, your game, it's old, man. Get something new. You know, we've heard enough. How many years you gonna lust after my fucking stainless steel vagina? How many fucking years you gonna want to see my cock and balls? How many years you gonna bash on me because my son executed a cop's dad? So fucking what? Really? Point that finger. Point it. There's 3 back at you and you never look in the fucking mirror. Well, I'm the fucking mirror right here, right now. And there ain't a goddamn one of you. It's got the fucking balls to step up the plate. You stay hid. You're cowards. You're triggered. You're loopers. You're repetitive pieces of shit. And you if you had a fucking new ideal, it would die of fucking loneliness. Starvation, man. What a sad fucking shit show. And yeah, before this is done, I have a lot more to say. But if my aunt happens to be listening, yes, I will testify, Sue Jackson, as to what happened to your husband's medicine, Kenny Jackson. And if you want to press charges, I will be right there behind you. And I will testify in court as to what my mother done. I don't care if they quit watching, man. This isn't for the weak. This is just fucking reality, man. They're all fucking cowards. That's why I can stand in the midst of you motherfuckers while you throw your puns and the best that you got, which is shit that I gave you because I'm transparent. You dumbass motherfuckers. Jesus, fuck you to hell. As a matter of fact, truly, fuck you to hell.
Suffer for all eternity?
I am the God of truth. I am the God of truth. I am the God of truth.
Suffer for all eternity? Suffer for all eternity? Suffer for all eternity? Suffer for all eternity?
And here's a good kick in the teeth. See, I had to find a new pain management doctor, and I did that on my own. And then here come my trash ass mom trying to get into the same pain management doctor that I'm in. Though she got caught writing prescriptions, Tylenol 3, calling in like she was the nurse, she's been dismissed from 2 different pain management for misusing her pills, and my appointment is coming up before hers. And if you think she stands a chance after her behavior of getting a pain management doctor in Fort Wayne, that's not going to happen. And I damn sure ain't sharing a fucking pain management doctor with that fuck up bitch calling in illegal prescriptions, fucking abusing her medicine, taking a fucking cancer patient, and but then shame on him because he was selling his medicine. He was selling it left and right. And then there was my mom, drug his ass in here, started taking his fucking medicine, expecting me to carry the slack. Now that he's gone, she utilized my finances. She's not above taking my fucking medicine. That's for goddamn sure. And then calls the cops on me. If I would have showed them the video of her getting pain medicine from my uncle while those cops were here, her ass would be in jail right now, facing her second narcotics charge. Because I don't give a fuck. You fuck with me, I fuck back. And what a sick fucking demented bitch. I mean, truly. She'd come out here to the garage and bitch and complain because he had her doing things for her. And then she would tell me, oh, I need your help. I need your help. I complied. But now that the medicine's gone, the money's gone, she's trying to use her adopted son to bleed his ass. The only thing in the way is me. And like I said, he's got felony assault on his girlfriend. He's looking at 4 years, and he's on supervised probation. And I'm going to make sure he does those 4 years. Because he's the one that called the cops. And like I said, panel's open, trolls. Wide open. Where you at? What, you got no fucking resolve? You got to sit and hide to talk about shit? Get drunk, be stupid? Zaboba, Austin Murphy, Cage, you fucking delusional fucking unstable-minded fucking pot-smoking, drunken fucking arrogant piece of shit. You know, as a matter of fact, it is far from illegal for me to hope that his mom gets sodomized unmercifully by whatever staff is assisting her. Maybe they'll fuck some sense into her, because God knows her son don't have none. Here, just in case you're too stupid to see it, I'll repost the link. Otherwise, I'm just going to consider you all a bunch of fucking lurking ass trolls. And I will address you accordingly. I am not here for your best interest. Now, let's see who's got the balls. I didn't mind showing mine. Kind of proud of them. Hope you all got your eyes full. Come on up, you big bad motherfucking shit talking fucking trolls. Come on up. Let's discuss some shit. Let's get this out of the fucking way, you looping motherfuckers. If you had a goddamn brain cell, you'd have an aneurysm. You dumb shits. 2 years of the same fucking goddamn garbage coming out of your fucking mouths, man. And that's the best you got? That is the best that you have to offer? Wow. And I gave it to you. You wouldn't have it had I not given it to you. You're just regurgitating shit I already said on here. There's nothing original about any of you. None of you. There is nothing original.
Roast in hell forever. Roast in hell forever. Roast in hell forever. Roast in hell forever.
Tell me this, what happens to people God hates?
They go to hell. They go to hell. They go to hell. They go to hell.
Tell me this, what happens to people God hates?
They go to hell. They go to hell. They go to hell. They go to hell. Roast in hell forever. Roast in hell forever.
Tell me this, what happens to people God hates?
They go to hell. They go to hell. They go to hell. They go to hell. Roast in hell forever. Roast in hell forever.
God has those who are his children and he has those who are not. So he creates certain people knowing for sure they're going to eternal damnation.
Roast in hell forever. Roast in hell forever.
Tell me this, what happens to people God hates?
They go to hell. They go to hell. They go to hell. They go to hell. Roast in hell forever. Roast in hell forever.
Conscious eternal torment in a literal fire.
Roast in hell forever. 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 Roast in hell forever.
There it is. And no, Lynette, you're not a troll. You haven't ever been a troll. You haven't shown me any troll type behavior. And yeah, be glad you don't watch any of these channels because they are guaranteed to reduce your IQ and have side effects of stupidity as an effect of watching these channels or the participants on them. It's a sad, fucking sick state of affairs. And the fact that I have to deal with it in real life, and then when I come on here, try and find a little bit of escape from the mundane, everyday, pathetic ass humans that surround me. And I find myself overwhelmed with the masses of stupidity. And I think, fuck, man. I can't get along with the living because they always have expectations, wants, and needs. Theirs, not yours. Not what you need, what they want, what they need. And if you don't comply, they turn into animals. Feral fucking beasts. And then I get on the fucking internet and it's multiplied by 10. Really? I mean, for fuck's sake, since we are awake to this point, how much wasted fucking breath do you got to shove through your pastry hole to continue even talking? You offer nothing. And nothing that hasn't been said or done before. Every time I listen to anybody anymore, I'm like, what is this, a fucking rerun? Are we watching a fucking rerun here? Because I remember seeing this on 3 other channels. The exact same way. You know, get some content. Get some character. Get some talent. I mean, really, you're the bums outside of the casting agency with your little tin cup going, I ain't even worthy of an audition. I keep repeating myself with everybody else's offenses. The offended. And then you question, why is Rat-Blood so hostile? And if that has to be explained to you, then you haven't been paying attention. Anyhow, since you're all a bunch of fucking cowards, you're all a bunch of coward-ass lurkers, you're probably dumb, drunk, stupid, stoned, or what else, I'm going to play a couple songs and entertain myself because I have yet to find any of you sufficiently over 2 years to be the least bit fucking entertaining.
And you might think, well, maybe people who have deprived and traumatic upbringings use that experience in their creative work. The passions that they feel and the horrors that they have experienced emerge in the music. Between genius and madness. Between genius and madness. Now, if we look at some of the great geniuses in the past, a number of them seem to have gone mad in their mature years. The bipolar mood disorder overlaps with schizophrenia, madness and creativity. The bipolar mood disorder overlaps with schizophrenia, madness and creativity. A bit like somebody on an acid trip. 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 What is it that links genius and madness, particularly music? What is it that links genius and madness, particularly music?
Maybe that's it. Maybe they passed out acid to all the fucking YouTubers and I missed mine. I must have been busy doing something else. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're all just fucked up on acid. Maybe you've done too many mushrooms. Maybe you baked your brain on weed and you just can't remember. None of you could afford ayahuasca, or could you even acquire the ability to go do such a thing on your own volition? But that's got to be one of the explanations. You're all stupid, fucked up on drugs. And those of you that aren't on drugs, why don't you quit talking about homosexuality as if you are a fag? And what? Why don't you utilize another used up, middle-aged, menopause piece of shit that looks like a second-rate candidate for something Hugh Hefner would have kept in a dungeon in the dark somewhere, so nobody had to actually see it. On your panels to try and sexually persuade these poor, desperate divorcees, fucking men who couldn't get a woman, even if she was blind, handicapped, quadriplegic, or other. I mean, it's the same fucking pathetic, nasty, disgusting hoes that have been used up. And they're so angry with themselves that all they can do is either present themselves as potentially having some type of, I don't know, maybe what? Self-esteem? Nah, I doubt it. Or maybe they're just angry because there's so many more beautiful, pretty, intelligent, young, attractive women that have brains, critical thinking, and actually can hold a healthy conversation and have panel verse and metaversal etiquette. Is that your problems? Is that what's going on with you? Are you upset with yourselves because you got old, dusty, and used up, and nobody wants you except maybe the degenerates on YouTube? And believe me, 99.9% of the males on this YouTube back alley are disgustingly desperate. I mean, truly. I think that's why there's such a heavy innuendo of homosexuality that goes on between them. Vipers, aren't you all? Sitting back, coiled, waiting for your next victim to strike with the same old repetitive fucking ineffective venom. I mean, really? Have, you know, I keep hoping that I'll tune into a fucking panel and they'll actually have a fucking intelligent conversation or even something to say. But it's been played out for so long after 2.5 years that you can't think of anything new. You can't do anything new. You are so caught up in your own goddamn loop that you couldn't escape it if somebody pulled the loop apart and showed you the exit. That's how pathetic you are. You use the same routines, the same gigs, the same non-bits, the same everything, and it's been heard over and over and over, and you want to boast about how intelligent you are? Well, fuck, I can get a monkey or a dog to keep doing the same thing over and over and over, especially in bad taste. Fuck. But anyhow, no, we're not friends. Yes, you fuck up. Terms of service, violation, safety calls. I don't give a fuck. And as far as my real life situation, if you're a fucking criminal, don't be calling cops. Because it will come back to get you in the ass. And I'm the one that's going to strike the venom in. Hello, Avian.
Hello, Access. How are you doing? I wanted to tell you that I emailed you a question, but your email inbox is full, so you're not receiving emails.
Yeah, I don't receive emails, text messages. I don't receive Messenger. I shut all that down, man. If you can't call and talk to me in person, I just don't care to deal with it.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So how are you doing?
Well, people that use the law in a criminal way was what sparked this. But even more so is the last couple mornings I got up trying to drink my coffee and was repetitively looped on some of the annex that I pulled on YouTube. And after the police ran my mom out of her own house tonight, I felt a little edgy.
I see. That sounds very distressful. It sounds very tense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I figured I needed to come off here and maybe rant, maybe have an intelligent conversation. Who knows, But I did want to start the beginning of the show calling out the repetitive rhetoric that has been directed towards me.
Yeah, it seems a lot of people are slandering you.
Oh, I'm sure you've heard. I'm infamous on the panel verse for being the and the antagonized one just by my presence alone. 2.5 years of it. Can you believe that? 2.5 fucking years. And the same fucking loop. Oh, your son shot a fucking cop's dad and executed him. Oh, you showed your stainless steel vagina. Oh, you showed your cock and balls. Oh, you showed your pierced nipples. Oh, you're a Satanist. No fucking shit. Now they're all masters of the obvious, and they've been talking about it for 2.5 years. I'm like, okay, bit's done, over. What was it that good? Should I win an Emmy? An Oscar? Should I be nominated? It's like watching a fucking rerun.
Yeah, it seems quite annoying. You know, it's like Samsara, I guess.
And I decided to dive into the Jungian part of me that has been festering towards my contempt of YouTube. And I released the darkness, and now I'm facing it.
I see. I see. That's admirable that you're facing the darkness.
Well, I seem to be surrounded by quite a bit of it, so know thy enemy. And then purge. Definitely purge. You know, once you faced it head on, you shouldn't have to face it again unless it's a reoccurring trauma. And if you have the strength to eventually overcome it, one of the worst things that can happen to a person is somebody trying to forcefully and continually make them relive that trauma.
Yeah, it
But
seems like people are just trying to mess with you. You know, relive the trauma and all that. You know, they're not. They're just you know, being pompous, I guess. Yeah, yeah. I take it you hate pompous people. So yeah, I guess I see what you're saying.
you know, so I decided to take one night and just voice my opinion in real life and on social media. You know, my mom is a whore piece of shit, always has been, a drug addict gold digger, and now she's fallen upon absolute desperation for her drugs and her money, and I'm not going to contribute. So she calls the cop. Well, she has her adopted son call the cops. They said the next time his ass is going to be in trouble for harassment. They're tired of coming out here and there's nothing here. You know, I'm in the garage doing my thing. She's in the living room.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds pretty yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah.
It is, Avian. It really is. But not to dump on you. You know, it's just one of those particular panel nights where I'm dumbfounded. I truly am, Avian. I'm dumbfounded.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell. Yeah, it's kind of makes one feel exasperated. Yeah.
Yeah, it's if it had quantum potential, I might be able to deal with it. But this is just binary bullshit. Garbage in, garbage out. And, I quit thinking binary a long time ago because that limits. I'll get into a little bit my philosophy. I think as long as you keep your mind open to possibility and you keep it in kind of a quantum state of, any potential, you're not breaking it down to a binary state of yes, no, or forcing it into a kind of manifestation through words. You're allowing any possibility to happen and then choosing whatever course out of that spherical potential. They have a particular paradox for that, but I can't think of it right off the top of my head.
Yeah, it seems it does seem like a kind of quantum mind, and it reminds me of Penrose, some stuff I saw from Penrose or something.
Well, Avian, I'll be honest with you. I think that once a person develops beyond binary thinking, which, they're indoctrinated by the Bible, because the Bible says you have free will, but the limit of your free will is to do or don't do. You can stand still or you can walk. You can go for a drive or you don't. You can watch TV or you don't. That's the limit of free will. Two choices, binary. But whenever you get past that binary state of thinking and you've already calculated the outcome, then I think that you've completely limited yourself to any type of potential broad spectrum understanding. If you catch what I'm saying there.
Yeah, like the the mind without expectations, or the beginner's mind is full of possibilities, but the expert's mind is close to those possibilities. That's what you mean.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Very well put, Avian. Yes. I try to wake up each day and allow whatever potential for that day to manifest. I don't wake up and go, well, this is my routine. This is what I'm going to do, unless I have an appointment. This is what I expect. This is what I'm going to get. No, I open up with a clean slate, and then I let the universe introduce to me the course of the day, and then I make decisions accordingly.
Yeah, it's a kind of spontaneity involved. Yeah, you're open to spontaneous expression.
Well, I think it helps break the cycle of repetitive outcomes and repetitive, basically insanity. I mean, you wake up, you have the same concept every time, you don't allow possibility, and therefore you're doomed to repeat over and over the same stupidity, expecting a different result without opening your mind beyond binary and into more of a quantized state of possibility. But that's just me.
So more of a, greater. It's like a creativity behind it. It's like it's better for the letting one's creativity flourish. So yeah, I see what you mean.
And to me, that expands upon creativity. It's because once you get in that binary state of thinking, you know, the abstract state of creativity, whether it be art, you know, whether it be craftsmanship or even jewelry making, you know, those potentials are lost. That artistic ability to express is gone because you've already set the course and you haven't allowed that possibility into it because you've decided to limit your thinking to binary instead of just spontaneously waking up and then suddenly you look across the room and there's a box of beads and you just put all to the devil and go start making necklaces for the hell of it.
Yeah, makes sense, you know, because you know, when you're open to possibilities rather than imposing one's way, that could lead to more of a, you know, a more better flow with things that can make one more insightful and more creative. You know, it's not binary, like you're saying.
And I think that that also is a spark of innovation. I think personally, innovation comes from breaking free of the binary way of thinking, or otherwise, we really would not have advanced with some of the great and profound inventors there was. You know, Archimedes, uh, you know, Leonardo da Vinci, uh, and I'm not even going to get into the quantum field. Those are just a couple examples of people who didn't limit possibility and just decide that, okay, you know, we got a sword, that's good enough. We don't need to think beyond that. But it was the freedom to experience one's possibility that led to the genius of Archimedes and Socrates or Pythagoreanism. You know, they had to break the mold.
Yeah, that's true. You know, it leads to paradigm shifts. You know, there's a paradigm shift. You know, like when we went from Newtonian physics to quantum physics, it was basically a paradigm shift. It basically overturned our previous ways of thinking, and you know that opens more possibilities that go beyond strict binaries of yes and no. Now, in ancient Indian logical systems, you know, they actually had, you know, contradictions exist. It was called para-consistent logic or Titra Lima in the Indian system, where something can be both an affirmation and a negation, or neither an affirmation nor a negation. So they went beyond the binary, a lot of them, you know what I mean? So, you know, I think in a way consciousness goes beyond the binary.
I agree with you on that. And if our history is holds any validity whatsoever, I think at one time the mind of what we would consider modern man or Homo sapien, as it is Cro-Magnon, at one time they allowed themselves that possibility because they weren't weighted down with all the distractions, TV, radio, the desire for a better mansion than the next, or, you know, they were able to experience the freshness of a day without the cumbersome load of distractions that they put upon you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that, yes.
And for me, that would be, I guess, if there would be a multiverse that I could go to, that one where, you know, all this policy, responsibility of imaginary, you know, appointments and, you know, the course of the day of reading the mail, watching the news. That's where I would want to be, is where none of that existed, but at least you would have maybe access to pigments to do art or, you know, make your own pigments, horsehair brushes, you know, bow and arrows, spears, fishing, and allow the mind to experience the fruits of the earth and contribute to the earth, even the pigments that come from the earth or the food that you consume, without any of the man-made obstructions and distractions.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It does sometimes feel like the best art throughout history has a kind of transcendental character where it feels like it's transporting you to different worlds or reflecting different worlds in some sense. So yeah, I know what you mean.
I just, you know, if that potential was there, I would definitely take it in a heartbeat. But unfortunately, I have to maneuver through society with the state of mind of a modern primitive, if you understand the term modern primitive.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you clarify what that means? More like, can you clarify modern primitive?
A modern primitive is still an innovative creature, but they hold as their foundation and fundamental base is you know, traditional tribalism, piercings, tattoos, ceremonies, even tribal nature, you know, this aspect of the body acting as a conduit for a higher spiritual purpose, but yet still being able to conduct themselves minimally into society as a modern individual.
I see. You would consider yourself a modern primitive, correct?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yes, yes, I do.
It's interesting. I never heard of it until now. I appreciate you telling me. Thank you.
It's kind of a lost art, but I you know, I still hang on as best that I can to, you know, keep that balance of the modern and the primitive, thus modern primitive. And it's, you know, it's a full time. It takes dedication, you know, because sometimes I find myself, I'm like, well, fuck, you know, this sounds like a good movie on TV, and you know, I watch this movie and consume some less than beneficial nutrients, and then I think, no, because for 2 hours, unless it's an inspiring movie that, you know, at least I've read the reviews or enough people have said you need to see this, I'm not wasting the time just idly, you know, falling into that media trap. So then I walk away from it and I go out to my work area and I start, you know, either playing my guitar, you know, putting together dream catchers and peace pipes and necklaces, or, you know, any number. Fuck, sometimes I just read a book out here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, just just going with the flow, and seems like a very interesting way of expressing yourself and way of being. It's very very interesting, profound. Yeah.
Sometimes, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes you remember that part in the Matrix where he says ignorance is bliss?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
that's the way I feel sometimes. You know that what I become as a human, my mindset and my beliefs are so diverse. You know, because I've allowed myself that possibility, that potential for freedom, and believe me, it conflicts with their order, their structure, their consistent routine. Fuck with that, and it really throws their day off, and then suddenly it escalates and spirals.
Yeah, I could see that, because the system, they want to force conformity, but you don't want to conform to the system. You want to be your own person, your own creative expression. So yeah, I can respect that. Yeah.
And these are just my points of views and opinions, Avian. I don't expect. First off, is I'm nobody to look up to. I'm nobody's hero. I'm nobody that you want to emulate. And you know, I do my thing, and I try not to imply it on others. I just throw information out there. We got a guest. Let's see who this is.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. XX and Mr. Evian.
Well, good afternoon.
Thank you, thank you. Mind if I take the floor for a second?
No, you're more than welcome. This is open panel, and we're just kind of getting our thing out. So go ahead.
For sure, for sure. Earlier in the week, I was faced with a tough decision. A man offered me a large sum of money with two choices, either to do or to not to do. And I did accept the money. Now he had to put it in my butt, of course, in the butt of it. But I did accept the money.
Right. Oh, we lost him. Maybe that was my very first confession on my channel.
That was kind of strange. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was feeling horribly guilty and decided this would be a good place to make a confession and potentially not be judged. Cool.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that seems interesting. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
But Avian, it's not just about me, man. I would like to hear about you too, brother. I'm sure you've got a lot to share. I'm sure you have a lot of experiences, and truly, other than algorithm, I really don't know the ins and outs of you, man. I appreciate what I see, and I definitely see intelligence whenever you're on. Just kind of curious, man.
Well, well, I'm writing a book right now. You know, but I think it's hard to find a traditional publisher or literary agent, so I might just do self-publishing. That's all. Like I'm writing the book, and it deals with stuff like semiotics. It deals with Buddhist enlightenment, stuff like that. I went a little bit into quantum physics, a little bit, and, topics like that. Basically, besides me, I have like several, STEM degrees, having like neuroscience, computer science, robotic intelligence, and stuff like that. I just live a very simple life and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I have some, artistic aspirations and some areas I like to focus in, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, that's about me. You know, let me think here. You know, I have a lot of books I want to read. My library is getting cluttered. I need to get to reading more and stuff. You know, I have a very cluttered library, and you know, that's stuff about me. So.
Well, that's I took computer science, so I can appreciate it. You know, I tried to explain that water and variables and an ice tray can be equated to computer science, and they didn't get it. Do you understand that?
Yeah, water and ice trays. You know, this kind of like you slotting things, or maybe it's like the CPU. I don't know. The water and ice trays is like the computer science. You know, maybe it's like an algorithm, or I'm not sure. Can you clarify further? I don't know.
Well, whenever I took the analogy on, it was by empty individual ice mold, full ice modes, and fractionalizing them into halves, into half frozen, and then naturally the empty. And I found that there was a sense of language that you could actually utilize a 12 cube old time ice tray. You can leave areas blank. You can leave them half full. You can leave them, completely filled with ice. And by the nature of that information, whether it's empty, full, half full, froze, you could translate information. Yeah, the
Yeah, I
person.
see what you mean. You know about telegraphs. You know, they used to have a telegraphs where they could like send Morse code information, and there was a tiny needle, and it would hit, and you know, they would decode the Morse code, and you know that actually served as a major influence to, you know, the electronic circuits in your computer. But I see what you mean, that an ice tray could be like a simple code system, you know, like you could have like, I don't know, empty is 0, half full is 1, full would be 2. So that would be like a kind of sign system, you know, or something. So yeah, that is kind of like computers. I see what you mean. This ties into stuff like encryption too, you know, you have lots of different encryption systems and other stuff.
Absolutely. And it was a marvel to recognize that we discovered, telegraph and Morse code, because, from my understanding, that was the beginnings of off on, ones and zeros, and the correlation between the spaces and the time that those ones and zeros are turned off and on. Seems to me to be another fundamental of computer science.
Yeah, 100%, you know, because, you know, the computer is basically, you have electric current running through transistors, and it could be and, nor, or gates. They're either turned on or off. So the circuit is just, the electric current is just flowing through that. And, you know, that ties into a lot of stuff we're talking about. You know, it's like doped silicon, you know, that's what it is, you know, the semiconductor, stuff like that.
Yeah, which whenever I learned the internal structure, the wiring, and the patterns that they use for the interpretation and processing of information inside of one of those silicone chips, it damn near blew my mind, man. It almost seems to me to be implausible, but yet functional.
Yeah, most certainly. It did blow my mind too. It's very fascinating stuff. And what's even more fascinating is Moore's law. The GPUs get, I mean, the transistors, there are more and more of them. The GPUs get more efficient, and it seems to have been exponential and stuff. So
and also reduced in size. It seems that they're getting a very good grip and handle on this nanofying of technology, circuit boards, what used to be big motherboards, and your AM FM green board. They've managed to reduce the scale of that from the 70s to now to almost, I mean, you can play music on your watch. Whereas back in the day, you had to have, either batteries, electricity, and you were dealing with analog technology.
yeah, definitely. And the GPUs are so advanced now. That like most deep learning or training of AI models is done with NVIDIA cards. And it has tensors and multi-dimensional arrays pass through it, and it's able to like compute so much at once to train the neural network. When I train the neural network, sounds like my computer is about to explode and stuff. So it's crazy.
Well, that many pathways and potentials for those pathways to make coherent. That just the mind alone, starts to become fatigued. So I imagine even the equipment pushed to that degree of mapping a comparative neural network, even of the brain, is just, you'd have to know your ass from the hole in the ground. That goes without saying, because the amount of energy, human and processing, is just unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely agree. And some of the architecture for the neural networks, like convolutional neural network or the large language models, it can be fun to look at it. It's like a block diagrams, and there are lots of hidden layers. Some neural networks are very deep, like they have like like millions or of layers, millions of layers where the training happens, and they're like fine tuning those weights and those layers and stuff.
Yeah, and I don't think, to be honest with you, Avian, I think that, I'm a little techie. You're very techie, and the average person, I don't think they even have an inkling as to not only the coding, but the structure and the mapping that goes into what they take for granted. Oh, this is a neat new device, but they never take the time to understand how that device works.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's a lot of that goes into making the device, even programming the device. There's a lot in it. That goes into it. The brain of the computer is like the CPU. I think the CPU is, like you have registers, you have other stuff like that. There's a lot that goes into making a computer, and the operating system is I used Linux when I was working with deep learning models. You could see the threads, the threads of processes happening in the background. It's a bit harder with Windows. I think they have like PowerShell or something. I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot going on under the hood, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have my old Linux computer. I won't get rid of it. I've got a computer with XP, Windows 7, Windows 11, and then I do have my Linux laptop, just because I never know when that might be useful again.
Yeah, Linux is very good to have as an operating system. Ubuntu and stuff is also what's preferred when training neural networks and stuff.
Right, and you are right that some of the programs and the interactive interfaces to see the structure your design is more effective and visually represented on Linux than it is on Windows by far.
Yeah, going into the terminal, you have a lot of control. You can see a lot of things. You know, everything is transparent on Linux, but in Windows, I think the Win32 is largely encrypted. So a lot of Windows is encrypted. They're system files, so you cannot really see what's going on as much.
No, and even I was very disappointed at Windows 11. I mean, it makes me cringe to have to use it. I really prefer Windows 7, just because I have a little more functionality. But if I really want to go back to being able to mess with DLLs, systems files, and stuff, I can always put Windows 98 on one of my laptops, which gives me more resource to move around as opposed to Windows 11, which seems to be prepared. Can't say the word. Prepare. Anyhow, it's not compatible with other shit. And I know when I first started working with Linux, after Windows, man, that was that was where you have to prompt in Linux. You know, it's a kind of a click and point thing on Windows.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think you were trying to say priority or something like that. Priority.
Yeah,
It's hard to
yeah,
pronounce. Yeah,
um,
but yeah,
proprietary,
yeah. That's right.
proprietary.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But you know, I don't know, you know, how long you done that or how long you were in school, but what did you get your minors, your masters?
Yeah, I have 2 bachelors and 1 master's. Yeah.
Very good. Very, very good. I work with Kent Young. He works here. Actually, he's a professor at Purdue over here in Fort Wayne, and me and him get into some pretty good conversations. Just because of his technical prowess, and it's very rare that even with you, Avian, this is nice and a pleasure to be able to discuss technology beyond. I got a new app. You should try it.
Yeah, it is fascinating to discuss. You know, there's always more to learn and more to get exposed to. It can be fascinating. Yes.
I was just lucky enough to be exposed to, MS DOS and an old 8088. And that was just by the universe basically making it available. I had no idea at the time it would become a significant part of my life. But then once I got past, building them, installing operating systems, once I learned protocol, I was like, damn, I guess this is going to be around for a while. And especially whenever I found I could create music through MIDI. There was an old program called Cakewalk, and I did a lot of music. And what it done was basically it synchronized and ran patterns of music.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fascinating. You know, I actually did work a bit with acoustic classification. Like I made the sound samples, the wave files into spectrograms. Yeah, it was converted into spectrograms, and then I trained the neural network to classify sounds, which was pretty fun. Yeah.
I have a similar program. It's called a SoundForge. If you ever get a chance to look at it, and the plugins, massive plugins, not to include, you know, the actual base of the program. That's what's built into it. I mean, it goes to subsonic ranges. You know, any sound variable you can clip, edit, uh, any wave sample, you can convert it into MP3. You can change the frequency, the mode, and the modulation. And it's called SoundForge. That's the one that I use.
Yeah, I used to use Audacity, but that sounds better than Audacity. Sounds like it has more features than Audacity.
Yeah, I still have a copy of Audacity, but if you ever get a chance and you want to really get into frequencies and the manipulation of, you know, variable you know, hertz and megahertz and ranges and various modulations and modes, SoundForge, just give it a chance. I mean, it may not be your cup of tea, but who knows, you know, maybe you'll find it useful.
Yeah, I appreciate the suggestion. Yeah, I'll look into that more in the future. Thank you.
So how long are you still doing schooling?
No, I'm done with schooling. Yeah, I'm done with it.
How long was you in school? I mean college, not grammar.
Let me see here. About I think I went for like 10 years, you know, because I got all those degrees, but it was too much time I spent. Too much time. 10 years.
Damn. Well, let me ask you this: if you had an aspiration for a career goal, what would you choose, Adrian? What would be your source of academic investment?
Well, that's a good question. You know, let me think. I think bioacoustics is interesting, you know, bioacoustics, you know. I was thinking about applying to a PhD program in Europe for that, but I don't know. But in terms of career, I mean, maybe I don't know, like software engineering or I don't know. I did some IoT work in the past. You know, that was interesting. Yeah, IoT can be very fascinating. You gotta learn the cloud platforms well. I used Azure a lot. You know, there's
Right.
AWS too. You know, and I worked with the IoT a bit, which is pretty nice too. So yeah, I'm pretty open to a lot of stuff. But right now, the job market is not the best for tech. You know, there's a lot of layoffs happening. So maybe it will pick up again in the future. Like it has its ups and downs a lot. You know, the tech field. Yeah, so.
Right. We have a guest. Hold on. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Just discussing computer science.
Oh, okay. All right.
You into computer science?
I don't know much about computer science. I study reality of this realm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what have you discovered about this realm?
I think this place might be ruled by big-nosed reptilian evil entities.
What would bring you to that conclusion?
Observation and a lot of the David Icke stories about the reptilian people, the beings taking over humanity.
Are you aware of David Icke's history? Have you studied his, from the time he was a sports broadcaster all the way up to present date, and even his claim on national TV that he was Jesus Christ?
Yeah, I think he might have been Jesus, or he might have been on drugs or something when he made that claim. But he played football in the UK, and he got kicked in the balls, and that probably impacted him too.
Oh yeah, getting kicked in the balls, that's no fun.
He had a severe injury.
Yeah.
One of his testicles burst when that happened, and then he
Right.
changed.
So, would you consider that to be he was disillusioned, which affected his personality, and that led to the narrative that he is promoting today? I'm very familiar with David Icke.
Well, I saw him speak at Wembley. He might have been disillusioned. He did a speech at Wembley, and the guy was fantastic. He walked around the stage. He spoke for about 12 hours, and I was like, bloody hell, mate, you could hold an audience's attention. He looked a bit reptilian though. At some point, his eyes changed like a snake eyes, and his arthritis. He had arthritic fingers, and he gave the audience the finger, and people booed him for a minute.
Right. David Icke is, I will give him, he's a very charismatic individual.
He is.
So charismatic that I think that even if he had, well, no, I won't say that. If he had the facts, then I don't think that he would have quite the personification. I think the facts would speak for themselves. But because he has no actual documentation, he's depending on his charisma to get this reptilian agenda message out there.
Are you for or against the reptilian agenda?
I know a lot of my culture's heritage spoke of things, but have I ever encountered a reptilian or anything
Yeah.
of that? No, no.
You never seen a single reptilian?
No, I've dealt with primordial and supernatural entities, but I've never seen a physical reptilian. I've yet to see anybody decamouflage into a reptilian other than what clips they have on YouTube. But I just don't. I can't ascribe to something that doesn't have a legitimately founded historical fact to them. They're more speculation and allegory or even mythology. Now, if I ever seen one, that would be cool.
I've seen some, and some people speculate David Icke is one of these reptilians himself, and he's a whistleblower. It's a theory. His eyes sometimes go snake-eyed. What culture do you? How does your culture deal with these reptilian beings when they see them? You said about your culture. You're not a Hebrew or anything, are you? With the star?
No, Native American.
Oh,
That's actually,
native.
yeah,
Okay.
that's actually a geometrical tool that you're looking at behind you. It has a golden ratio to it, divine proportion, right
Oh,
angle.
oh. Well, Disney showed that with Pythagoras and the. You see
Yes,
that cartoon? Yeah.
yes, yes. Donald Duck in Math Magic Land.
Yes. Yes. Donald Duck and Magic Land.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
That's a,
cool.
yeah, it's very educational on it. I was hoping it would take a lot of stigmata away from
Oh, I like that song, Stigmata Ministry.
yeah.
Ministry, yeah, that's a good band. I like them. I like those guys.
Yeah, they're pioneers in Rust Belt Industrial. They had their hands in a lot of things. Al
Do you,
did, at least.
oh, yeah. Do you like music a lot?
Certain types at certain moods, and you know, sometimes I feel very heavy where, I could use the aggression, and then sometimes I'm just real calm and want to kick back to some rhythm and blues or even 60s and 70s, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, when I was younger, I mean, I jerked off aggressively to Ministry. There was a lot of songs that is very sexual and pretty cool.
I found it to be more modern violence. Do you associate violence and sex together?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, somebody broke my nose one time when I was having sex with a buddy's girlfriend. I got punched in the face in bed, and I was still inside of her, and he
So
broke
what?
my nose. Yeah.
So what? Your buddy wasn't willing to share his girlfriend, and he got mad at you?
Yeah, he didn't wanna my buddy didn't wanna share her pussy
Well,
with
she
me.
did, obviously. So
Yeah, she was willing,
yeah.
but he was just mad about it, and he came and just busted my fucking nose, and he was
Well,
upset.
did you at least get off? I mean, she
Y
she
yeah,
took the initiative to share her body with you, regardless of him. I'd
yeah.
hope you got a busted nose and at least blew a nut.
I I busted my nut right when he busted my nose, basically. So,
Wow.
yeah, it was kind of a synchronicity where it's like one busting and the other one busting at the same time.
Wow. Interesting display of biological release.
And she
One
screamed because she got scared. She thought he was gonna kill us or something. So she reacted, and then she orgasmed as she screamed in fear. It was like a bloody mess of violence and orgasmic violence, and it was kind of incredible, but I mean, you can't even script that shit to happen that way.
No, I mean, fuck, man. Some people pay for that, you know? Sounds
I would have paid
intriguing to
for I would
me.
have paid for it. It was worth it, but I got it for free.
Well, there you go. You beat the
Yeah,
system. You got it for free.
yeah. I got it for free. I got her coochie for free, and yeah, it was quite a thing. How do you I was gonna ask you, how do you people, or how do your culture, natives, how do they deal when they see a reptilian? Like, do they try to capture them or kill them, or do they befriend them, or like what's the whole thing?
Well, there's the Hopi, which I'm Appalachian Cherokee. We had the Moon-Eyed people, but you know, out west in the plains, they had the larger statued, red-haired cannibals, and then you had the Ant people, which during the last cataclysm apparently helped a neighboring nation into safety. And then the reptilian talk that is amongst the tribe has to do with uh, shapeshifters. I can't think of the actual word for it at the moment.
Oh,
Um,
the skinwalkers
well, no, they're
or the shapeshifters? Oh shit, I can't think of it, but it's part of your native lore.
lycanthropy. Yeah, lycanthropy.
Lycanthropy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
there's talk of that throughout various nations. Just because we're Native American, we still have separate nations, separate you reservations, and unless you're a Native American traveling from North Carolina out west, those, we as a nation do not generally ever encounter their nation. It was the Creek, the Cherokee, and I believe there was some um, the Creek and the Cherokee were marched down the Trail of Tears, but there was some Iroquois involved there. There was some trade with them.
Oh yeah, I remember reading about the Iroquois. Iroquois.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Mohawk and the Huron, and it's the Cree Indians and the oh yeah, the Sioux and all
Yeah.
of them. Yeah, the
Right
Trail of
now,
Tears. Yeah.
yeah, I actually drove what parts of the Trail of Tears that you could actually drive by and just to see. But right now I live in northern Indiana, and I'm in Miami territory, and that's the Miami Indians. The last setting chief for them was Little Turtle, but since then they've got a Little Turtle died, and they brought in a new chief. And since the new I knew Little Turtle, but I don't know this new guy, so I don't even I don't bother.
Oh, Little Turtle. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody said somebody somebody said a joke one time that when a guy goes in cold water, is he has a little turtle, is the penis turtles up
I've
in
never
cold
heard.
water. Yeah.
Oh yeah, shrinkage.
Yeah, shrinkage like a frightened turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Did on the Trail of Tears, one of my stepfather was a real fucking asshole, and I heard he said he was boasting that he had cowboy ancestors that were part of the Trail of Tears and just beating the shit out of these Indians and killing them on the Trail of Tears. Now, I don't know if it was true or not, but that's what got me kind of interested looking into the history of some of these native tribes, because he was such a fucking prick, this asshole that boasted and said, "Oh yeah, my ancestors were a part of that." I don't know if it's true, if he's just being a prick, but he let on that they just beat the shit out of these natives and made them cry on the trail.
Well, regardless of whether he did or not, that's history to me. Um, I do observe the fact that they marched them on the Trail of Tears. They relocated many nations. Um, they were the first form of biological warfare outside of Europe, where they used to catapult the dead bodies inside of the strongholds for
Oh,
disease
I
purposes.
I didn't know that. They catapulted in America?
No, Britain.
Oh, okay. I could, yeah. Cause that,
Yeah, they
yeah.
take the dead bodies, catapult them into the stronghold, and it would build pestilence and disease. So
Oh,
I'm sure
did they rub these
wounded.
bodies in America, the blankets with the smallpox, like they said?
Yeah,
They
that's
put,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the first forms of biological warfare, other than catapulting dead bodies.
So they
So,
really did commit like bio warfare on
yeah.
natives with smallpox. They infected the oh man.
Well, South
Oh,
America, the biggest part of the indigenous population of South America died of when the Spanish conquistadors come over there and the Inquisition. They killed off many tribes because the tribes had no immunity to the diseases that they were carrying. So instead of having to basically take over the way they did here in America by firepower and force, disease wiped out, I'm going to say at least 1/3 of Mesoamerican, indigenous people.
yeah. Disease it took a lot of people over here all the way down to South America. It wiped out whole tribes and
Yeah, that's I think they still employ those practices, but on a black budget, or a black ops type of thing. And I think that even with the produce that we eat, off of the shelves, they're they're still hitting us with biological warfare, whether it be contrails via vapor trail, whatever. Um, you know, we're still being hit with biological warfare. Frequency from 5G towers, even 60 cycle electricity in your home, um, from power plants. It's still all forms of biological warfare.
oh yeah, that's true. They can hit us from the grid, the electrical grid, and the ether. They can put shit into the ether, and they actually even attacked those Negroes in the South. I think it was in Mississippi. They gave them syphilis, and they tested all
Yeah,
kinds of shit on them. Yeah,
the Tandusky experiment. Yeah.
yeah. They did mostly on Negroes and I think retarded people, and they put it they injected them with this shit. They let on that they were giving them needles for medicine or something. They tricked them, and some of them they just injected right into their dick.
That was my understanding of what happened.
Yeah,
You know?
it was a medical experiment. I think it went on for even years or maybe a decade or something. They were making these Negroes get syphilis and then seeing what happens if they don't treat them, and they just kept checking on them to see what would happen.
Well, in World War II, Mangula, he was he did some pretty atrocious shit, especially to you know the
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
Holocaust victims, the
the
cloning.
twins, the
Yeah,
the Mangala twins.
yeah,
Yeah, he'd get these girls and do like all these experiments, and sometimes he'd try to join them up bodies and make conjoined twins and all kinds of shit. He had like a whole room full of lampshades made out of their skin.
yeah, yeah. That's my understanding is, whether I've never seen one. I've had lots of Nazi paraphernalia throughout the year as a collector, but even in the darkest realms of Nazi collectors or World War II memorabilia, I never ran across a skin lamp.
Yeah, I'd never seen one in person. I don't know if I'd want to see a skin lamp lit up with human skin stretched over it. I mean, it must be terrible.
Yeah, but humans are just generally prone to atrocity. I don't think there's a culture since the deluge or the Younger Dryas where there hasn't been just the most unbelievable behavior towards the human species as a fellow species, all the way from warfare to science, and as for me, I've really taken into consideration because of my involvement in technology, I, compelling is what I want to use for the word of neuro implants.
Yeah, I heard that the Jews were spraying the Palestinians with raw sewage in tanker trucks, just spraying their houses with like a fire hose of raw sewage out of a big pumper truck.
Well, that's a good way to get sepsis and dysentery and mass infection, especially respiratory.
Yeah, and then they were fucking the corpses. The Jews were fucking the corpses, and they made some of Palestinians into soap, and they were bathing, like using the bars of soap, human soap, and just horrendous atrocities.
No, I don't know about human soap. I mean, if it was acquired in a certain way, I don't think it'd bother me.
Well, it was
But
the fat of the women, the fat Palestinian, like they used the body fat, and they rendered that fat down into soap with the lye and chemicals, and they made it into fucking bars of soap.
right, right. Um, yeah, I don't think I would want anything from the Gaza Strip, but I wouldn't be against using actual human soap. But the the fecal matter being sprayed as a biological warfare, to me that's very concerning.
Yeah, it must have been disgusting. Like it would have stank for blocks and blocks and blocks over there. Just horrific stench. It was all sprayed. Just houses covered in this shit.
Well, I can imagine that would be, unlivable conditions. If you could stick around for that, man, that's some integrity because they spray shit on my neighborhood. I'm out. I'm gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I would leave too. There were grannies coming out of these places just reeking with just just it was horrible. It looked horrible. It looked like a fuck. It looked horrific. It looked like the end of the world. It was just sprayed in black shit all over these houses.
I'm curious where they got the fecal matter.
I think they pumped it right out of Gaza. It was the people's own shit. Their neighbors was they were spraying on them. They took it from them in there. They just pumped it into these trucks.
Really? That's
Yeah.
that's
They
pretty
used
heinous.
well, they used their own shit against them, really. Literally.
Right. Right. That's just I find that very fascinating. Very fascinating because
Well,
go ahead. Go ahead,
well,
please.
they're both Semites. Like the Palestinian, the Arabs and the tiny hat Jews, they're Semites and they didn't want to spray them with their kosher shit, the Jewish shit from inside the walls. They wanted to get them with the real nasty stuff.
I see. Psychological warfare too, huh?
Oh yeah, they're experts at that. Absolutely.
Damn. I didn't know that. That was very informative. Because I do know that in prison, uh, what people will do is when they want a tattoo and somebody has a vendetta against them, and the person getting the tattoo doesn't know that they have that person as a vindictive adversary, they will dip the needles in shit. When they make the ink, they have one primary needle, and then they'll put the tattoo on the individual, and they usually die of sepsis, blood poisoning.
Oh yeah, I think I heard something about the bio warfare tattoos, the prison ink of death or something like that.
Yeah,
They,
they'll take their own fecal matter and they'll lay the needle in fecal matter before they tattoo the person. And over the course of, whether the tattoo takes a day or a couple days to finish, all that fecal matter is going into the bloodstream.
yeah, there's shit pricking them with the fecal on the needle. I
Yeah.
saw something recently. I think it wasn't the protocols of Zion. It was something else with the Jews, and they were saying horrendous things about Native Americans. Like they really view natives as savages. And they look down on them as even below Goyim. They said. I
Well,
don't
I
know
could,
if you're aware of that, but
yeah, well, that would have been the first settlers that came over here from, the Hasidic or the Orthodox Jew. And, naturally, they're behind the cavalry and the settlers. So I could see from their perspective what they call savage or untamed. We called ourselves free. Whenever people started claiming land, we never understood that. We could go where we wanted to go, so I could see them being very very off taken by the Native American because we answered to nobody except the chief.
Yeah. They also didn't like that you weren't kosher and you had foreskin, and the Jews like to take the circumstance or circumcise the foreskin off the dicks of babies, the Jews, the rabbis, and they think that it's unholy, unclean. I think
Yeah.
they think that having foreskin is dirty and nasty.
Well, there's an interesting thing in that book of theirs that says, do not add to or take away from the body. So, the circumcision thing, if their God commands them not to add to or take away from the body, what the fuck are they doing removing foreskin? The other thing about foreskin is it's generally contributed to a pagan, and it has to be well kept. I mean, I don't know if Jews were just being lazy and didn't want to keep up with their, penis hygiene, so they cut the skin off. But I don't see any holy, religious, or spiritual aspect to cutting your foreskin off.
Yeah, they were lazy, and they said they don't like schmegma. They were getting smegma, and then the Jews took the foreskin off and claimed it was holy, and they were feeding it to the rabbis. They were actually eating it.
I've heard that. I have heard that.
Yeah,
Now,
they'll chew on a baby's foreskin like bubble gum. They'll just keep it in their mouth and chew on it. They're sickos.
do you know why they do this?
Well, they it's part of the. I think it's in the Talmud or part of their maybe their oral tradition. They think that it's holy and that it's the right of the rabbi to be able to do that with when they do a circumcision at a bris or something.
Yeah, Bruce.
That the rabbi will kiss the penis, and some of them are getting herpes from the rabbi's mouth, like they have herpes on their lips and they're yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
It's nuts, man. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Talking about paying it forward. Hell, you're fucked before you even get to your first year.
It's absolutely crazy that they do that. They'll suck on the baby's penis, these perverted rabbis, and oh, it's just it's how did the native I don't know how the natives got all the casinos though in America. Was that with the Jews or did the
No,
natives
that was
make them?
what transpired there is we fought for gambling rights on certain reservations, and we were allowed to have the casinos because Native Americans aren't actually American citizens. Um, when you move to a reservation and you become a part of a nation, you're no longer an American citizen. So they started building gambling casinos. And the Gaming Commission came in and wanted a percentage of that money and demanded it. But because reservations are sovereign ground and they have their own law enforcement, they were not subjected to it and they were able to keep the casinos. You don't
What
mind what nationality do you come from? Are you American? British?
Part
Irish?
American, part Italian,
Okay.
part Italian, and I got a bit of Mexican in me and Brazilian. But I
Cool.
look more white. Yeah, I'm very light skinned for like a Brazilian.
Well, cool. Brazil's nice. I like Brazil.
Oh yeah, it is. I um I read some American history about. I don't know if this is true, but the Indians didn't always like the Negroes, and they tried to wipe them out in certain parts of the country. I don't know if it was down in Florida or
The
somewhere like that.
Seminole?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Seminole. That was one of the tribes. Some tribes accepted them. Some tribes did not. The Seminole would be one of the tribes that did not. Um, you know, the Blackfoot did not. The Apache did not. But then there were other, nations that welcomed him in.
Yeah, it's always weird to see those old photos of some of these tribes with Negroes in pictures, and they're wearing like some of the feathers and traditional dress, and I can't believe they accepted those darkies.
Well, what's interesting is Jimi Hendrix was half Cherokee, half African.
Yeah, I think I heard that. I saw a picture of Jimi Hendrix as a boy, and he was in a dress.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, they put him in a dress when he was like 5, 6 years old or something, and it's very weird. But I heard they poured wine down his throat and drowned him that way. It was in his
That's
lungs, it wasn't just in his stomach, like, it was inhaled.
right, right. That's Janis Joplin, Jimmy. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I just went out and bought a Stratocaster model just so I could. I used to play a lot of rhythm and blues, Hendrix, even metal, classical. And a couple days ago, I went and bought one, and I bought it because it was a Strat like Hendrix's.
Oh, really? He played the Strat?
Yep, Fender Strat.
Oh,
Strings
okay.
backwards because he was left-handed.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that Janis Joplin sucked Hendrix's dick.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that. I know Janis didn't like Jimi Hendrix, or not Jimi Hendrix, but Jim Morrison. Uh, Jim Morrison and Janis got into it several times. But Hendrix and Janis were very close friends.
Yeah, and she tried to swallow his black and purple, but I I heard that, yeah, the Janis, she smashed apparently she smashed a whiskey bottle or a Southern Comfort or something over Jim Morrison's head at one point
I can
because
believe that.
yeah, she
I can believe that.
I guess Jim was arrogant and calling her a dumb cunt or something, and she just had it and just took a bottle and just smashed it over his head, and because Jim could kind of be a belligerent asshole when he was drinking. He could also be a bit of a clown and a troll. He teased people and just when he was drunk, but I guess he was a pretty he was a pretty gentle guy when he was sober.
Well, one thing I do like about Morrison is his ability to to utilize the power of media and the power of media, and he had a presence to him that he maintained to captivate the audience and keep that mystique and still keep the crowd captivated, but still had that profound nature of poet, madman, clown, and then
Yeah. Well, Madman and Clown was really his thing, and apparently, apparently he one time he went on stage in Florida and whipped out his dick, showed the crowd, and they tried to arrest. They hauled Jim away, and they arrested him with public indecency, and they
yeah,
just yeah, they tried to put him in prison for years.
yeah, they were going to sentence him, to my understanding, to a couple years. But see, he got in trouble prior to that, disorderly conduct and something else, and fuck, what was that state? It was a northeastern state, New Haven, Connecticut. He was arrested there, and then they arrested him in Dade County, and he wound up going to Paris and never making it back. I was taken by Jim Morrison for quite a bit of time. I listened to an extreme amount of Morrison. Um, tried to get a deeper understanding of what he was trying to get across. Kind of starstruck and mesmerized her for a while. But then the same with Pink Floyd and Hendrix and Sabbath. They were probably, I would say, my main influences for the way that I play guitar. But I was actually, when I was very young and first got my guitar, I was taught by a backwoods fucking roofer that was stayed drunk and would pass out holding his guitar, man. But he taught me that kind of a backbeat, real nice, real nice boogie blues type stuff.
Oh yeah, the boogie woogie, boogie
Yeah,
blues, boogie. Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. That's boogie woogie.
yeah,
Yeah.
he would start out sober, man, but as the night went on and he was trying to get me to learn how to play that guitar, man, the drunker he got, the louder his amp got, and then it turned into just a jam fest of him just wailing on that son of a bitchin' guitar, man. And fortunately enough, that was one of my first music instructors, and he had no credentials. He was just a old drunken roofer that could play fucking guitar really well.
Oh man. I heard a story about Jim Morrison in Laurel Canyon, and he locked up Pamela Corson in a closet. He beat the shit out of her, and then he locked her in in a closet and set the place on fire. I don't know if that was actually true, but there's some talk of that.
Well, I think that was in the movie The Doors, that particular incident, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they show part of it, but it was worse in person. People have said like his some that knew Pam said she told him like he really beat the shit out of her, kicked her in the vagina and locked her in there. And she had two black eyes, and her hair was just redder than red, fire engine red. And he just set the whole fucking place on fire.
Wow. Yeah, if that's true, man, and the movie depiction of it is mild, that's pretty fucked up, man.
Yeah, Jim was kind of a madman when he was drunk, I guess. He'd pull some wild shit.
Yeah, I guess I can't say that some of my attributes in music was contributed to Morrison. You know, kind of the incoherent poet, dark, solemn type shit that I done. But, you know, I couldn't even begin to try and identify a certain characteristic or personality to Jim Morrison other than his stage presence, because it seems that he was pushing himself as far as he could go. Kind of like Sid Barrett, but not quite as extreme.
Oh, the Pink Floyd guy,
Yeah.
the lead,
Yeah.
the acid. He dropped a lot of acid, I think, and he kind of went schizophrenic for a few decades.
Yeah, he's dead now. He was schizophrenic all the way up to his death. But see, Roger Waters and I believe it was Nick Mason. Uh, they were friends in England, and they used to film, Sid on extreme acid trips. And they, at the time they didn't think of the repercussions, I guess. But the whole album, with the "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" was the song that they contributed to him because they felt guilty, you know, uh, basically assisting their bandmate into insanity, drug-induced insanity.
Yeah, yeah, and he showed up one time. They barely recognized him, I guess, at the recording studio, and then somebody was like, "I think that's Sid." He changed so much, and they hadn't seen him for years. He just was reclusive and just a complete schizo. I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently he was so schizo that he'd just go around in the UK, even in parks, trying to talk to the squirrels and have conversations and trying to say that the squirrels were his girlfriends and all this kind of stuff.
Wow, that's pretty lost, man. That's pretty deep. I mean, the last time I went to I went to Roger Waters, the last concert. This is not a drill, and I was in Chicago when I saw him, and I think his politics now override a lot of that Pink Floyd feel that everybody was used to, because he's very, very political. The visuals and the images that were being shown across the skyline there above him, it was pretty political and pretty profound. And then they did a whole tribute to Sid Barrett where you could tell there was remorse, and then he ended it with just an onslaught of just basic political fuck yous.
Yeah, Roger Waters did get very political, and It got to the point where some people said that he's basically almost like a homo, the way that he just got so fucking faggy with some of his politics in a way. He just got too far. I think he might have gotten too far away from the music and he just got into this political shit.
Yeah, I seen that happening. I didn't notice it at the time, but with Radio Chaos, I started catching twins of political idealism. But then when he did the bravery of being out of range, and that song alone just solidified that he has a political agenda.
Yeah, he's got a political agenda. I heard that Eric Clapton, a British musician, threw his son out the window. That it wasn't actually an accident. That it was
I
more of a
heard that.
sacrifice. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that too. You know, which is kind of strange because if you go back to even Michael Jackson dangling his newborn over the edge of a balcony, I mean, you kind of think, and there is a lot of child deaths amongst the more known musicians and actors. You never know, man. I mean, you don't know what kind of sick shit they're into in the background.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of strange child deaths. Even John Travolta's son is a weird one. Mike Tyson lost a child to I think it was exercise, like a treadmill or something.
Right.
So there's that one, and Kanye, with his mom, she died very shortly after he became really famous, and a lot of this like family member, either a child or a parent or something, or a girlfriend. Jim Carrey's girlfriend is a weird
Almost
one.
seems like a trade-off, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It almost seems like they're trading that for their wealth and fame. They have to sacrifice someone. I mean, it does look like that.
Oh, I agree. And especially with certain bands. I mean, you had Keith Moon of the Who died, then suddenly they're famous. You, I'm trying to think of some of the others. There's so many others. You had Cliff Burton. He died. Then suddenly Metallica takes off, and they go to superstardom. There's always some either a member of the band or a close relative, associate, child, or something of that nature, and then the band seems to really solidify itself in the public arena. Almost
Yeah,
seems like making a deal with the devil.
yeah. The old deal at the crossroads for rock and roll. Johnson
Oh,
made a
Robert
deal.
Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, Robert Johnson. He made that deal at the crossroads way back at the rock and roll in the early rock and roll days. It was like the blues rock.
Yeah,
Like,
it was really back Delta blues that Robert Johnson actually come in. He wasn't that good of a guitarist, and then he left, disappeared for a while, and then when he came back, he was a force to be reckoned with on the guitar, and that's
oh
whenever they
yeah.
started recording him, and then he did a song called Crossroad Blues, where he talks about making a deal with the devil at the crossroads.
Oh yeah, there were guys, musicians that said he pretty much sucked before he came back. But when he came back, he could play guitar and the blues like a motherfucker, and they said that nigger could play. But before that, he just sucked. He was just
Right?
terrible. Yeah.
I listened to most of the old Robert Johnson recordings are real staticky, and because they were done on laid wax vinyl, so it had a popping staticky. It wasn't a very clean recording, but I've heard a lot of the shit that he'd done, and yeah, some of the seventh chords, the ninth chords, the progressions that he used, the pentatonic scale, and the way that he was able to manipulate it to almost a deeper delta type blues, phenomenal.
Yeah. And the legend goes that he just learned all that from the devil at the crossroads. He made a deal for the talent, and he didn't have the talent for shit before then, but he could just play like a motherfucker after he came back and after he met at the crossroads and made the deal. So that's a legend. It might hold some truth to it.
I think it does, personally. I think there's a lot of validity to turning the adversary into an ally for your desires and dreams.
It's a profound story. If he got all that talent from making a deal, because he couldn't play really for shit before with his fingers, and they said when he came back, that motherfucker Robert Johnson could basically play the guitar blindfolded, upside down behind his back, and he could play the strings with his Johnson. He could do anything with it.
And now I would have liked to have seen him done the guitar with the Johnson. That would have been very amusing.
I think Hendrix can do it as well, but they're one of the only ones that can pretty much play behind their back, and you name it. They could do it all. They could put that guitar anywhere and play it. They could
Yeah.
probably jam it right up a whore's ass and play the guitar.
Well, the interesting thing about Hendrix is that, he used to actually, on his live performances, simulate making love to his guitar.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And then sometimes he'd do voodoo and light something on fire on the stage.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool. I like that. The theatrics of that and just all the profound symbolism of it was just remarkable.
Yeah, and especially the interesting thing is, for the time, it was a psychedelic culture, and it was heavily drug fueled. But now looking back at it and seeing such parodies as Prince, I don't know if you've ever heard Prince play guitar, but the sumbitch is awesome.
Oh yeah, from Minnesota,
Yeah.
Minneapolis. Yeah, yeah. And then he turned into a symbol, and he made the guitar into like a symbol. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Purple
because the record company, they had the rights to his name, Prince. And whenever he left the company, they wouldn't let him take his name with him. That's how
Yeah,
Prince.
I think it was Sony or something. They were fucking him on his deal.
Yeah, that was my understanding. But
So he found Prince found a way to become a symbol and he could do what he wanted because he was legally he was a symbol.
And I liked his use of um formerly known as the artist Prince. Whenever he would have him introducing that way, I thought that was a big middle finger to the record company.
Yeah, I like that too. I would be like formerly known as Mr. Big Nose, or I was formerly known as Mr. Little Nose. Now I'm Mr. Big Nose.
Right? Right. And you know, I find it quite amusing that, you know, as much as I appreciate the artist, I think the record company is a necessary evil, but I think they're evil incarnate. Not just evil in their practice, but I think that behind the scenes there's a very evil agenda.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And Prince was one of my favorite, all-time favorite darky artists, along with Jimmy. Those two. And Prince was maybe 5'2" in real life without heels on. But when he had his heels on, he could slam dunk a basketball, they said.
I'd like to see that too.
Charlie Murphy said that in heels that Prince could outplay him wearing these high-heeled shoes, platforms that made him like close to 6 foot tall or something.
I can see it. You know, fuck, Motley Crue wore heels. All the glam rockers wore high heels. Prince was more of a kind of an androgynous, but he wore heels. That was a
Oh,
thing back
yeah.
then.
Well, Prince was more androgynous, but I heard that Prince got the most pussy, that the women really loved Prince more than all the others. That
Oh, fuck.
they would go to his place and go down on him in elevators and all kinds of stuff.
I believe that, you know, because I got to watch the way that, you know, the girls in school and when the Purple Rain come out, yeah, I got to see them grovel and drool and lust after him.
Oh, yeah.
Those
I have a friend like that, that all the ladies love the guy. It kinda pisses me off at times, but yeah, all the ladies love this one guy that I know, and
well, being a half breed, you know, it's kind of contradictory for me to say, but I don't think any of the races whatsoever should mate.
none of the races?
None of them. They should have been kept in their original origin, and all this crossbreeding. Um, you know, to me, that's culturally unacceptable to me
Yeah.
from a religious standpoint.
Well, I mean, I fucked some bitches if I didn't breed with them, but I banged them. I never fucked a negress, but all the others I've sampled here and there.
I have not.
I don't think you have any babies out there though. That's the thing. I fucked them, but breeding obviously involves having the children. So I don't have any kids out there with any of these like Asians. I might have fucked a Chinese bitch or three.
No,
a Taiwanese or a Thai or something.
well, I don't have any problem with sampling. It's when you start breeding these
Oh no,
multi.
no. I didn't breed with them. I would like finish on their tits or face or something.
There you go.
I didn't make any kids.
Well, so you were sampling around. I mean, your intent wasn't to breed, and you
Yeah.
weren't looking to marry.
I just wanted a buffet, basically. I wanted to try the buffet, the salad bar.
Let me ask you a question. Shit. Yeah,
All
there's
right.
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, it's whenever you start building family structure, and we'll take Scots Irish and a Mexican, and they decide that they're going to start breeding. Well, what they're breeding is a cross contamination of purified genetics into a mutt and bastard genetic line. Who does it identify with? Does it have problems with, is it Irish? Is it Mexican? Who does it identify with? Then not to mention, the social disposition of the ridicule that child's going to go through.
Yeah, that's true. It's sad because they don't know what their identity is. Like they have some of these over in Japan now. They have the black Japanese and things like that. They're very confused. They don't fit in with the blacks. There's not many. They don't. The Japanese don't think that they're Japanese, and even if they live there, it's messing up some shit.
I know that as for me being a half breed, I get more shit from the indigenous, my forefathers on the Native American side, than I do the Scandinavian side. The Scandinavian side kind of romances the ideal of having Native American heritage, but my dad and the nation, they're the ones that actually look down on me for being a half breed.
Oh yeah, Scandinavian people. A lot of them really love natives. I know what you're saying. A lot of white people are pretty accepting of half breeds or all kinds of mixed. That a lot of white people, we just as whites, we just don't care too much.
No, and it's kind of fucked up because when you look at 70% of the world, they're dark skinned, brown eyed, and black haired. Now, the white race is generally green, well, the red hair with the green eyes, or the blonde hair with the green and the blue eyes, the lack of pigment, you know, that's definitely a biological differentiation. And once that's bred out, the purity of that, whether it be Mesoamerican, Native American, or white, then the true purity of that bloodline is gone and it can't be brought back.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And I heard that there's the dying off of redheads. There's not that many in the world. That's kind of it's gonna go extinct.
I could see them being a minority amongst humanity, but I didn't know that they were dying off as, you know, a genetic line. I didn't know that.
In Africa, they kill the albinos and they actually eat their brains. They think that that will heal them and give them magical powers. When they find an albino darky that's all white, and um, they kill them and eat them. A lot of these places, they're endangered.
Wow. Well, I know there's a lot of stigmata that goes behind gingers, especially when it comes related to the Nephilim and the whole concept of the giants being redhead. That's in biblical scripture. That's in Native American lore. I even believe Patmos was occupied by predominantly redheaded, larger statured, if you want to call them hybrids or, you know, whatever. But from what I've understood is for you to have pale skin without pigment, or not pigment, but melanin, then you at one point in time genetically developed you don't need it. And the only way I can consider that is if they were dwelling underground, that they lived in underground, you know, whether it be cities or whatever. And that need for melanin left their system and their pigment. And I truly believe that that was from subterranean existence. Whereas the rest of the world has, you know, melanin, black hair, brown eyes.
Oh yeah, that's true. And these red-haired giants, I guess, were cannibals. They were eating humans, and the natives tried to burn them out underground. They tried to burn them and get rid of them because these giants were eating people. And South Park said that gingers don't have souls.
I've heard that. I've heard that a lot. And yeah, Lovelock Cave in Nevada, they one of the excavations there uh, was where the Native Americans had caught them in their cave and lit the front of the cave on fire because they were cannibalizing and, you know, basically a rampant nuisance. So they caught him in a
Yeah, they burned them even with bat shit. They said the bat droppings, and they
yeah.
collected that, and they burned them out. They smoked them out and burned them. They were cannibalizing, and these big red-headed giants were just a terror to the natives. They were trying to eat them, and they were committing atrocities and incest and doing all kinds of wicked shit, and they had to try to get rid of them.
That's my understanding. You know, and I just for a long time have tried to build a factual base of understanding as to why, you know, the blonde haired, blue eyed, green eyed, and red haired species of humans don't have melanin. You know, melanin is
Yeah.
protection from the sun. So where'd these some bitches come from? You know,
Hollow Earth, maybe.
buried? That could be.
Yeah,
I don't
Hollow
doubt
Earth.
that.
Cities underground. And then these darkies, a lot of them have big butts and they have like different body proportions. So they don't even look the same even beyond melanin. They've got fat deposits in their hips and butt way more than the white Scandinavian light skinned, light eyed types. I mean, their butts are like 5, 6, 10 times as big. There has to be
Oh,
something there as well with the fat storage.
yeah, and it seems to become a cultural acceptance as a mark of beauty to have an ass that's, you know, 3 times your upper torso. Fucks me up, man.
Yeah. You know, these black guys, they don't even like the little butts. Most of them do not like a white chick or any kind, even a black chick. A melanated chick, if their butt isn't big enough, they won't go for them. These black guys that I know will say they only like big butts. They will not go for a chick if she's got a small one.
Yeah, it seems like the brothers like the big butts, but I'm also watching more African, Asian, African, Caucasian uh, marriages and family units than I ever have since I became aware of, you know, different cultures, races, and pigments. And I'm like,
Oh, the family unit?
yeah.
Uh, they, well, they said something about fat with fat storage where that's my phone ringing where you can survive better like a drought or a famine, and if you have fat your body can live off that for like a month or two with just
Oh,
water. So if these chicks with these these melanated um these niggas, these melanated darkies with the big hips and the butt, if they had to go without food, they could live off their just that fat for like a month. And there's also a study now saying that the nose size of a man, there's a correlation between nose size and penis size. And I don't mean to brag, but I do have a big nose.
oh, that's irrelevant, but yeah, I don't know, man. I have a problem with that type of diversification and the fact that there's an obvious biological difference. I mean, you know, if you don't have melanin and 70% of the world does,
Yeah.
then that makes you a genetically different.
I
You know,
barely have a drop of melanin. I'm very pale. But I'm not 100% white, but people think I am. But I don't know how. Maybe I just didn't get any melanin when my parents got together. I'm not sure genetically how melanin works, but I gotta get going. I got a phone call, and it's uh, I had to I had to take this phone call.
sure. We'll catch
But
you
it was
later,
nice talking to
Steven.
you, Axis.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the respect. You have a great night, brother.
Yep, you too. Have a good one. Take it easy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
I think that was the best behavior I've ever seen him on. Pretty interesting. But anyhow, it's been a long stream. Got some good educational points. Got to do some venting. And thank you for everybody that attended, watched, participated, and especially those of you that gave me the middle finger and cussed me this whole stream. I appreciate you most.
Trembling with horror and throbbing with emotion. Trembling with horror. Trembling with horror. Trembling with horror. Trembling with horror. Welcome to hell.
All of my most sensitive areas were inflamed. My extremities pulsating with tingling sensation.
Welcome to hell.
Have we seen the actual reality of a monstrous crime? Or merely an illusion, the product of a tortured brain? Welcome to hell. Welcome to hell. Obsessed with the taste of flesh. He was cruel and a sadist.
Swaying back and forth. A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip.
A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip.
A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip.
A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip. It was all very good.
Sucking the hallucinatory acid into the system.
My head is spinning. My head is spinning. My head is spinning.
Sucking the hallucinatory acid into the system.
My head is spinning. My head is spinning. My head is spinning.
Sucking the hallucinatory acid into the system.
No one had a bad trip.
The mind of man rests on a delicate balance between reality, the world of light, and the other, darker world, low threshold of consciousness.
Welcome to hell. You. Do you know that?
We're happy to have you with us tonight and hope you'll come back often.